the complete guide to the legal issues of freelancing on platforms. Who actually owns the copyright? The legal issues of freelancing on platforms are complex. It is important to know who actually owns the copyright and how to protect it. As a freelancer, you need to understand the different types of copyrights. The work-for-hire copyright. This type of copyright is granted by default when an employer hires someone to work for them and they create something new. The employer owns this type of copyright, and the employee does not have any right over it. The commissioned work copyright. This type of copyright is given when an individual or company commissions a freelancer to create something new. The commissioning party owns this type of copyright, while the creator has no rights in it. Freelancing on platforms and the legal risks. Freelancing is a booming industry, with the global freelancing market expected to reach $1.4 trillion by 2020. But freelancers are not always aware of the legal risks they take when they sign up for a job on a freelance platform. The law in this area is complex, and it varies from country to country. It also changes over time as more countries update their laws to reflect technological advances and changing economic conditions. Copyright issues on platforms and tipping point analysis. Copyright issues on platforms have become a major issue for content creators. It is not just about the money that is lost, but also the right to control one's own work. The tipping point analysis can be used to predict when copyright infringement will become a major problem. This analysis takes into account various factors, such as the growth of piracy, the cost of anti-piracy measures, and other factors like social media campaigns and legislative protections. The tipping point analysis helps content creators understand how costly copyright infringement will be in the future and how much it will cost them to put an end to it. Fiverr as copyright owner. The controversy of Fiverr as the copyright owner is a topic that has been debated for some time. The question is who should be the owner of the copyright for a piece of work. Some people argue that it should be the person who created it, while others believe that it should be the person who pays for it. This video will explore both sides of this argument and provide some insights on why Fiverr is not really an issue in this debate. The following videos about how entrepreneurs are copying and profiting from copyrights. It discusses the risks of copyright infringement and how they can be avoided, as well as the consequences of copyright infringement. In the United States, intellectual property law is governed by federal laws, which can be found in Title 17 of the U.S. Code, commonly referred to as the Copyright Act. The Copyright Act has provisions that define when an individual's work is protected by copyright law and what constitutes copyright infringement. Copyright protection extends to any original work of authorship that is fixed in a tangible medium of expression. This means that any written material, artwork, or other creative content that you have created may be eligible for protection under U.S. copyright law. How Fiverr can become the owner of copyright. When you sign up to Fiverr, you are agreeing to their terms and conditions. One of these terms and conditions is that they own the copyright of all your work. This is a problem for many people who want to use their work on other platforms or who want to sell their work. This is why it's important that you read the terms and conditions before signing up, or at least make sure you know what they say before committing to them. The Copyright Act of 1976 is the law that governs copyright in the United States. Under this act, copyright owners have exclusive rights to reproduction, distribution, performance, and display of a work. These rights are granted to the author or creators of a work. What is important to take into consideration when looking at this topic is that there are two types of ownership, legal and beneficial. Legal ownership refers to the right to exercise certain legal rights over a work, whereas beneficial ownership refers to any right other than those included in legal ownership. In this case, Fiverr is the legal owner of copyright because they are the ones who own all rights related to reproduction and distribution. whereas Martha owns all other benefits, such as performance and display rights.